Welcome to Out and About with Trev, CoVid19, Lockdown Editions 2020. Alright, well firstly I hope everyone's safe at the moment. We're under the lockdown rules, and across the world the COVID virus is a really important issue. And over the next few months I'm going to feature a lot of the work that I do on this vehicle. I only got it last week, and it's a 2001 Subaru Outback limited version vehicle, and this will be great for me to carry all my equipment and go to locations when I have to help clients. But currently I can't drive it on the roads because I've got to do some work on it. I've got to take the engine out, I've got to do some other work on it, and I'm going to feature that on the episodes over the next few months. I've also got some other content, especially my important bushwalk that I did at the end of last year as I turned 50. So it was an awesome bushwalk, but there was a few issues with it, and I'll feature that in a future episode. I'm not exactly sure when, but it's coming. Anyway, that's basically what's going to happen over the next few months. I'm not really sure how things are going to go. I just hope everyone's safe. And that's why I've decided to make these episodes. All I can do is, I can't really go to various places, so this is the best I can do at the moment. Anyway, these are going to be special episodes, and in the future I'm sure we'll look back at it and say, damn, that was a tough time. But we've got to get through it before we can start to really move forward again. So over the next months, this is what I'll be working on, and we'll just see how it goes. Well, before I get to the serious work on my new 2001 model Subaru Outback Limited Edition, I've got to do some work on the engine. I've got to take it out, but I've just found a bit of an issue. When I opened up the back door, water was running down here, and as you can see, it's still coming out the bottom of this section for one of the lights. I'm not really sure what's going on. I might take this out. Let's have a look. Oh. Anyway, I'm not really sure what's going on. What I've had before with like with my van, a couple of times you open the back door and there'd be water coming around the corners over here, and sometimes you get this channel completely clean, water would back up. So when it rained, you get water dripping in and around the back of the door. But I don't think that's what's happening now. What I think's happening is that I think there's water that may or may not be under pressure for the rear windscreen wiper. And I've got a feeling that, so even when I do this, you see more water coming down. There we go, it seems to be, there we go. So, oh, here we go, look at this. That can't be good. We'll do that again. So anyway, that's a thing. I thought initially that it might just be because it was raining so heavily yesterday and the car's a bit of an angle, but as you can see, that looks pretty weird. Time to go and do some more research. Alright, so this is the little squirt for the windscreen washer. This is the tube that carries the water. And what I think's happening is that there might be a bit of a slit or a cut in the tube, but I'm not sure why it keeps coming. Maybe it's just the angle the car's on, so it's a bit weird. Maybe I should turn the car around and see if it does it the other way. Might try that. So the other thing is I got all this out, and the lining and everything with the little toolkit that they give you as part of the Subaru car, and it's good that the previous owners kept all this together, but it's time to dig out the big toolbox. Looks like this problem's been for a while. I've put a plate in the back. I'm not sure what that was trying to do. We've got issue, I've undone all this. Oh well, another day. While you know, we're all in a bit of self-isolation, and it's we have to stay home to stop the COVID-19 virus. We've got to do things. So today I've got a bit of a job to do on the car. This is the problem at the moment. This back light section here is actually filling up with water, so there's a bit of a leak coming in from, I don't know, somewhere on the top of this. There's a bit of a rubber in there, but it seems like water's getting in, gets into the light system, and when you open it up, it leaks out through the lights. We'll see if it does it. That's yep, there we go. It's also coming there. It's there. Oh, there we go. Anyway, so today's mission is basically take out this whole back light assembly, and then try and reseal it. I've got some Celastic there, and we'll try and reseal it and stop this happening. Alright, so having pulled apart all the side panels and looking at where the water comes in, I've done some research on the internet, and it seems like the culprit is this back light assembly here. Maybe it just needs to be a bit better sealed. Apparently that's where the water's coming in, and that would explain why it's coming out through the actual light. You can see it here dripping. It's actually coming through this light assembly, which is a part of that whole system. So I think I can put everything back and we'll concentrate on this, but the problem is these are the sockets way up in there, and there's more up in there, and there's another one over here. And what I need to go get is I need a 10mm deep socket, so I don't have one of them. So I'll put all this back in, we'll put the cargo barrier back in, because I think there's nothing in there that's going to really be the problem. I think this is where it's at. So anyway, it's been a learning experience. First job on the real job on the car, so it's the way it goes. Alright, so what's happened is I bought this 8mm half-inch drive socket the other day to get these bolts out. And while it worked great for these ones, there's one up in there. No, up there. There we go. But as you can see, this goes to there, and the shank's too wide. And if you look through here, you can see that it can't actually get on to turn the nut. So what I've done is I've just gone and bought a new 8mm 3/8 drive socket, and I reckon that'll get the job done. I think I've got all the bolts off now, so now we'll just see if it wants to. Only thing I forgot to do, disconnect the wiring, take the rest of the lights out. So do that. Hello, this is Trevor. No worries, thank you. Bye. There we go. There seems to be a complete gap down there, which I'd say wouldn't be good. Yeah. I was hoping it was gonna stay sunny like it was earlier in the day, so I could have sat this out in the sun and maybe completely dried it a bit. There's a bit of condensation in the back here, so I might have to leave it out for a few days. So I've seen on a couple other videos where people have just sealed up along this this edge here between the black and the red, But what I want to do, because this is quite severe in, from what I can see, I'm actually going to pull the whole thing apart and do a complete reseal along the edge. So hopefully it'll seal up, really good. So I just got to take all these little Phillips head screws out. Oh shit, that's exactly what I didn't want to do. But got the bit, and what I'll be able to do is I'll be able to super glue that back, and I think at this point I'm going to change my idea. I think that's obviously been sealed up for a very long time, and it's not going to now I did drop one. I think that shows that the actual plastic might be a little bit brittle, so it might be original plastic that's been on it since it rolled out of the factory. So I'm going to put these screws back, and I am just going to seal down the edge like other people have done. And maybe that's why other people did it that way, so they didn't have to pull this apart. So what I am going to do is I'm going to use a bit of araldite. Now araldite is a very strong glue. I'm not sure what it's called elsewhere in the world. Here in Australia it's araldite. And we've got a problem. So with these, it's probably more than enough. So with the araldite, they're two separate things, and you've got to join them together, and then you've got to mix them up quick. Get my toothpick out. That's not clean. There we go. So we'll mix them up. Like I say, this is not the right thing for this, but it'll hold it. It will absolutely not move. And the cool thing is that this section up here is just on the edging. There's no actual, it's not like it's in front of the lights or anything, so it's got to be completely translucent or anything. Translucent, blah, so you can see through it. There we go, we'll just whack a bit there. And we'll get our bit. Don't really have to do anything with it, just basically slide it in and make sure that where it ends up is where we want it to be, because once it's glued in there, it ain't ever coming out. So
this out a little bit so it doesn't stand out. It's being glued.
And I reckon all the cars that follow me down the road in the future, I don't think that's going to stand out to the point where they're going to go, look at that. Now we can start. Nope. Got a problem. Yeah, so now that I've got this sealed, I'm just going to let it sit. I was tempted to put the thing back up, but I want to make sure this stays dry. I could have put a tarp over the back, but what I'm going to do is leave it here, and in a couple of days' time, I'll whack it back up. The only thing I've done to this since last night was put a bit of black paint on the back of this just to cover the white Celastic that I used. Obviously if I had black I would have used black, but sometimes you just got to do what you can. Now I just got to take this off so it doesn't fall on the floor. There we go. There's my fix where I cracked the plastic yesterday. Not good. Now I'll put it on the car. I've just poured water down, and now when I open this up we'll find out if I fixed it or not. Ah, looking good. Ah, excellent. Excellent. Don't worry about that bit of water there, it's just when I wiped it down. Those drips are on the outside where they're meant to be. Alright. Oh well, that's basically today's mission done and dusted. Got the rear light assembly back on the back of the vehicle and it's all sealed up, so I think that'll be alright. Due to some of the damage to the seat belts, I've had to pull them out. The previous owner's dog chewed on the rear seat belts and she told me that, but I also found a bit of a glitch with the driver's seat belt. Had a bit of a cut in it, so that wouldn't pass roadworthy. So it's going to cost me a bit to replace them, but you can't you know, take chances on safety, so I'll get these replaced. And I found a couple of places where you can get brand new seat belts that meet the standards for Australian vehicles, so that's really good because you want to make sure that, you know, everything's authorised. You know, the stuff that you use has to meet the standards that we need on our vehicles on the roads in Australia, and especially the seat belts. I want to make sure that, you know, they've got the right you know, quality on them. Anyway, that's about it for the moment. The next job, well, starting in the next few days, is I'm actually going to move the trailer a bit further up, about where the vehicle is now, maybe a little bit further up than this, and then I'm going to get the vehicle, and it's going to go down on the flat pit, and then I'll be ready to start looking at taking the engine out. But that's going to be for later in the week, and I'll probably get the engine out next week. But anyway, what I also can say is that at the moment, while we've all got to stay at home, and it's really good to have a production that I can work on, and this is why I really wanted to get this on the driveway, and working on this has been great. And over the next few, whatever it takes, however long it takes, I think because of some of the costs, I think it might take me a little bit longer to get it on the roads, but it will get there. And I'm really looking forward to to being able to go for some drives, going to places I haven't been to, but also going to places that I've been to before. So this is going to be awesome, and I know that I'll get it on the roads, but it's just got a bit of work to do on it. Anyway, that's about it at the moment. Stay safe, and yeah, catch you next time.